This is probably one of the coolest places I've seen so far, and the birds up here are really neat to see interact with this high elevation environment.
South Dakota is home to many amazing parks and natural areas. One of the most popular is Custer State Park. Consisting of over 71,000 acres of land, from grasslands to mountains, and numerous animal species, this park is certainly an amazing place to visit. I ventured to the park to take in the spectacular views and see what western bird species I could find there. I started out on the wildlife loop that consists of a road that works its way through a wide variety of habitats. The road started in a lower area where hills on both sides made a valley. Here I found a northern flicker, red-headed woodpecker, eastern kingbird, brown thrasher, and black-billed magpie. Along this part of the road I was also able to spot two of the park's mammal species. One was the black-tailed prairie dog, whose burrows could be seen dotting the flat ground at the foot of the hills. The other was the pronghorned antelope. The pronghorn antelope is not related to African antelopes at all, but is actually a part of the same family as giraffes and okapis. They can be identified by their reddish-brown backs, white rumps, throats, and undersides, along with the dark markings on their face. Many pronghorn populations are migratory, and will move across the plains for warmer climates in winter. Herds of these animals can be seen in Custer Park and the outlying areas, as they are perfectly at home in grasslands where they feed on a wide variety of plants. As I continued on, the landscape opened up into a prairie with fewer trees. As the sky began to darken, I got a view of a flycatcher. It turned out to be a western wood pewee, a life bird for me. In a tree near the western wood pewee was one of my target birds out west, the violet-green swallow. The violet-green swallow is a beautiful bird of the western United States where they can be seen regularly in spring and summer. As their name suggests, these swallows have both violet and green coloration that shows vibrantly when the sun hits them. The bright green shows on the back, head, and shoulders, while the violet can be seen most prominently on the rump. The cheeks, throat, and underside of this species are all clean white. Violet-green swallows can be found in open areas, especially near lakes and rivers, where they hunt for insects on the fly. Continuing on through the grasslands, I spotted two more resident mammals. I got a quick look at an adult and juvenile bison, as well as the park's feral burros. These donkeys descended from a small herd of burros that were used to take visitors into the park and were eventually released. Now these animals line parts of the wildlife loop, beckoning visitors to feed them snacks. Rain began to fall over the landscape. While the birds seemed content to brave the conditions, I moved on to another section of the park known as the Needles Highway. Needles Highway is a 14-mile stretch of road that winds through granite spires that stretch toward the sky. The road reaches elevations of 6,000 feet and offers breathtaking views of a totally different habitat than the rest of Custer Park.
I just left Custer Park a little while ago, and it was starting to rain. I ended up taking the Needles Highway, which is this crazy road that navigates up these cliffs. And up at one of the lookout points, there was a red-naped sapsucker, which is a lifer for me, and then also a Audubon yellow rump. So this stop has been amazing.
Red-naped sapsuckers are small woodpeckers with black and white patterning on their body and bright red on their head and chin. This species is migratory, spending summers in the western United States and heading south into the southwestern states and Mexico during winter. As their name suggests, red-naped sapsuckers consume sap from a variety of different trees, such as pine, aspen, and birch, by drilling holes in the bark. However, these birds don't actually suck out the sap, but rather use their tongue to lap it up. This species also commonly consumes fruit and insects along with the sap. Red-naped sapsuckers breed at elevations of 1,000 to 10,000 feet above sea level and can be found in a wide variety of forests, including both coniferous and deciduous.
This is probably one of the coolest places I've seen so far, and the birds up here are really neat to see interact with this high elevation environment. There's swallows and swifts flying everywhere. There's a lot of calls coming from different directions. Very cool.
Back in the lower elevation part of Custer Park, the rain had stopped, and many of the birds were up calling. In the late day sun, I was able to pick out a few new species to add to the list, including a vesper sparrow, mountain bluebird, and a pair of common nighthawks before calling it a day. My first visit to Custer Park was certainly an interesting one. With many different types of habitat and a wide variety of birds to match, it was a great experience traveling around the park and seeing all of the amazing sights it had to offer. If you're ever in South Dakota, this park is certainly worth a visit. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Badgerland Birding.